Hi Nana. So in this video, we will learn the laboratory method of preparation of ammonia. In our previous video, we learned about general method of preparation of ammonia. Okay, now we will learn about the laboratory method of preparation of ammonia. So in the laboratory method of preparation of ammonia, see how this ammonia is prepared. Ammonia gas is prepared. Actually, ammonia gas is prepared by using the reactants. What are the reactants? The reactants are ammonium chloride and slaked lime. Okay, ammonium chloride and slaked lime. What is the formula of slaked lime? Slaked lime means calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. Okay, now actually we have to take these two, ammonium chloride and slaked lime. Ammonium chloride and slaked lime, they should be taken in the ratio of 2:3. Okay, by weight. By weight. Okay, suppose if you take 2 grams of ammonium chloride, then we have to take 3 grams of calcium hydroxide. If you take 20 grams of ammonium chloride, you have to take 30 grams of calcium hydroxide. So like this, calcium hydroxide means slaked lime. So we have to take ammonium chloride and calcium hydroxide in the ratio of, that means slaked lime, in the ratio of 2:3 by weight. And we have to put in a mortar and pestle. So this is called as mortar, this one is called as mortar, and this one is called as pestle. So here what is this one? Ammonium chloride, the mixture of ammonium chloride and slaked lime. So you have to keep in the mortar. Okay, with the help of pestle we have to grind. Okay, we have to grind the mixture of ammonium chloride and slaked lime. Okay, so why should we grind? So when we grind, what happens? The surface, these particles will become very less size particles. Okay, so when the particle size is reduced or else it is decreased, what happens? The surface area of the reaction increases. So the surface area of the reactants increases. When surface area of the reactants increases, what happens? They react with each other with very fastly. Okay, large amount of reactants will participate at a time, and therefore the speed of the reaction increases. So that is why, in order to increase the surface area of the reaction or the surface area of the reactants, we have to grind the mixture of ammonium chloride and slaked lime. So by using mortar and pestle. Okay, mortar and pestle. So right, so after grinding that the mixture of ammonium chloride and slaked lime, we have to transfer this mixture into a round bottom flask. So this is a round bottom flask. So now this mixture is transferred into it. So now what is this one? The mixture of the grinded mixture. So actually this is a grinded mixture of ammonium chloride and slaked lime. Now this is a round bottom flask. So tilt this round bottom flask. So it is tilted. So it is tilted like this, and it is fitted to a stand. Okay, after tilting this round bottom flask, so now the neck of the round bottom flask, it should be attached to this stand like this, clamping. Okay, we have to clamp the round bottom flask with the neck like this. So why should we clamp? See, actually what happens during this process? So actually we have to heat this one. We have to heat the mixture. So while heating, what happens? Both of them will react with each other upon heating. Okay, it should be heated gently, not to very high temperatures. They have to heat gently. So when this mixture is gently heated, what happens? Reaction takes place between ammonium chloride and liquid lime. So the reaction takes place, and here due to the reaction it forms a calcium chloride, okay, water in the form of vapors, okay, and ammonia gas is released, and ammonia gas is released. Ammonia gas is formed in this process. Okay, so like this reaction takes place upon gently heating the mixture of these two, grinded mixture of these two. Upon gently heating, what happens? So here these are the products. So water vapor is formed. So this is in the form of vapor. Okay, so as this is in the form of vapor, water vapor. Okay, suppose if I keep like this without tilting, what happens? So ammonia gas is released. Ammonia gas is released. During this process, ammonia gas is released. Along with ammonia gas, water vapor is also released. So what happens? This water vapor also will be mixed with ammonia. So what happens here? This water vapor when it comes to cooler parts, so this water vapor will condense. Water vapor will condense into liquid water, and again that liquid water will fall back into the reaction mixture. The water vapor which is condensed in the neck region of the round bottom flask, okay, it will convert into liquid, and that liquid droplets will fall back into the conical flask, which is very hot, because so we are heating this one. Suppose without tilting, if you heat like this, what happens? The water will fall into the very hot this round bottom flask into the reaction mixture, so that the round bottom flask will break down. In order to avoid the breaking of this one, so that means we should not allow the water vapor to condense and fall back into the round bottom flask. So in order to avoid this one, we have to tilt this one. Okay, we have to tilt this round bottom flask like this. Okay, so that what happens? The water vapor which is formed, so it will move down through this delivery tube, so that water vapor and ammonia gas, both water vapor and ammonia gas will enter into this. Okay now, so like this. So in order to avoid the condensation of water and water into droplets and finally falling into this reaction mixture, so this is under hot condition, round bottom flask. If water again falls into this one, what happens? It will break down. Okay, so in order to avoid the breakdown, because if you add water on a hot object, what happens? It will try to break down. So in the same way here, as this is a glass material, round bottom flask is made up of glass material, so it will crack, it will undergo cracking, sometimes it may break down. So in order to avoid this one, so that water vapor should not condense here, so that water vapor should move along with the ammonia gas into this chamber. So in order to avoid that one, so we have to purposefully we have to tilt that round bottom flask. We have to tilt like this and clamp like this and heat this gently. Okay, one thing we have to remember that, so here this is liquid lime, this is an alkali. Okay, when any salt of ammonia heated with any alkali, what happens? This ammonia gas is released. Generally in laboratory we use ammonium chloride and calcium hydroxide. So instead of calcium hydroxide, suppose if you use sodium hydroxide or else potassium hydroxide, even these are also alkalis. What happens? See, this sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, they are deliquescent materials. Suppose if you use sodium hydroxide or else potassium hydroxide, what happens? They are deliquescent alkalis. They absorb the moisture from the atmosphere. These substances, they absorb the moisture from the atmosphere, and these substances will convert into liquid. So now this potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide will convert into liquid because they are deliquescent materials. Because they are deliquescent materials, so they absorb the moisture from the atmosphere. They absorb what? Moisture. They absorb the moisture from the atmosphere, and in that moisture what happens? They will dissolve and form a saturated solution. So that is why these two are not used. So calcium hydroxide, it is a non-deliquescent substance. So it does not undergo deliquescence. So it remains as powder only. Okay. So that is why calcium hydroxide is preferred when compared to sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Because here this mixture should not absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Okay. Right. And one more thing. See, we have to heat this mixture. We have to heat this mixture gently, not to very high temperatures. Why? Why this mixture is heated gently? Because this ammonium chloride, it is a sublimating solid. Ammonium chloride is a sublimating solid. Sublimating solid. Ammonium chloride is a sublimating solid. What does sublimating solid do? This sublimating solid will convert. If you heat this sublimating solid, it will convert directly from solid to vapor state. Okay, so that means here ammonium chloride, if you heat this mixture of this ammonium chloride and slaked lime strongly, what happens? So here ammonium chloride will vaporize, or else it will convert into vapors, because as it is a sublimating solid. So now what happened? Ammonium chloride vapors also will come into this one. In order to prevent the formation of ammonium chloride vapors, we have to heat this one gently to lower temperatures only. We should not heat to higher temperatures. Okay, so that the sublimation of ammonium chloride is prevented. So now here, upon gently heating the mixture of these two, this reaction takes place. Ammonium chloride does not convert into vapor, but what are the products? Calcium chloride, water vapor and ammonia. So these two are the products, these three are the products. Calcium chloride is a solid, it remains here only. But these two are the vapors or else gases. So ammonia gas will it will come into this chamber through this delivery tube along with ammonia gas. So even water vapor is also coming here. So into this chamber the gas collected is what? Impure ammonia. Impure ammonia gas. Why it is called as impure ammonia gas? Because it contains water vapor as an impurity. So here the ammonia gas which is collected here, it is not a pure ammonia gas. It is having water vapor. Okay. So when it reaches to this portion, what happens? That water vapor may cool down, and it may convert into. Here this water vapor should be removed. Why? If this water vapor is cooled down, what happens? It will absorb the ammonia gas into it, because ammonia gas is very highly soluble in water. As ammonia gas is highly soluble in water, we have to immediately remove this water vapor. So as soon as this water vapor and ammonia gas is entering into this one, immediately we have to send this gases mixture, okay, into a dryer. This is called as a dryer. So in this dryer, so there is a material called as calcium oxide, quicklime. What happens? This quicklime will absorb the moisture. It will absorb the moisture or else water vapor which is present in the ammonia gas. So now it contains what? Impure ammonia gas, and this impure ammonia gas, it is sent through the dryers. Dryer contains a material known as quicklime, calcium oxide. So calcium oxide, it can absorb the moisture present in the ammonia. So what happens here? Here the purification of ammonia takes place in this region, in the dryer. Okay, so now as the moisture is absorbed, here remember that the only impurity present in along with ammonia gas is water vapor only. There is no other impurities. So even that impurity also is removed here in the dryer, because calcium oxide, quicklime, will absorb the moisture. So now what happens? Only dry ammonia gas will be collected here. So now this dry ammonia gas which is formed here, so it will be collected. It will be collected in the gas collecting jar. It will be collected in the gas collecting jar. Okay, right. So this is the method of a collection of this is a method of collection of ammonia gas. Okay. Remember that ammonia gas is highly soluble in water. Hence, that is why the water vapor immediately should be removed. In order to remove this water vapor, the mixture should be sent into the dryer. Okay, now. See here what is happening here. So water vapor, as it enters here, it will react with the calcium oxide. So the water vapor, it is used up here. The water vapor which is present along with the ammonia gas, soon after entering into this dryer, that water vapor will react with the quicklime. Water vapor will react with the quicklime, okay, and convert into calcium hydroxide. Okay, so that means this water vapor is used up in a chemical reaction by this quicklime. So that what happened, that water vapor is not present along with the ammonia. So here only pure dry ammonia gas is formed. Okay, dry ammonia gas is left over. Therefore here drying of ammonia takes place here. That is why it is called as dryer. Okay, so here one thing we have to remember. What is that? We have to learn what is that one. So here ammonia gas, the dry ammonia gas which is formed here, it will slowly come out through this delivery tube, and it is collected in the gas collecting jar. This is a gas collecting jar. This is a jar. So this gas collecting jar, it is kept inverted. It is not placed. It is not placed in a upright position. It is inverted. It is kept inverted. Why it is kept inverted? Here we have to learn one thing. The vapor density of ammonia is equal to molecular weight of ammonia by 2. So what is the molecular weight of ammonia? 17 by 2. So what is the vapor density of ammonia gas? It is 8.5. Vapor density of ammonia gas is 8.5. But what is the vapor density of air? Vapor density of air, it is 14.4. So which one is heavier? So the density of air is heavier than the density of ammonia vapors. So here simply we have to compare the vapor density of both the air and ammonia gas. When compared to air, ammonia gas is lighter. So as it is lighter, what happens? So this, as it is lighter, light in weight, so ammonia gas will move upwards. It will try to move up in the air. Suppose if this is the air, from here ammonia will move up. Okay, it will move upwards. Okay, by pushing the air downwards. So air is pushed downward, and as ammonia weight is its weight is lighter in weight, it will be collected. It will move up. Because always remember that lightweight gases will move up, and denser gases will be collected at the bottom. So in this way here, as ammonia it is light in weight because of its less vapor density than the air. Okay, so what happens? This ammonia gas will move upwards. Here actually there should be air here. There should be air here. So as ammonia gas is collected at the top, so what happened? The air which is present, it is displaced downwards. So which one is coming down? Air. Air is coming down. Why air is coming down? Because instead of air at that place, ammonia gas is collected. As ammonia gas is collected because of its light weight, so it will try to occupy the top position, and and the air, as it is heavier, it will come down. So gradually ammonia gas is filled here. When ammonia gas is gradually filled here, what happens? Slowly the air will be displaced downwards. So finally what happens? All the air will be displaced downwards, and here the ammonia gas is collected. So like this, ammonia gas is collected by displacing the air downwards. So the method of collection of ammonia gas is called as downward displacement of air. Okay, what is the method of collection of ammonia gas? The method of collection of ammonia is called as downward displacement of air. Why? Method of collection. Method of collection of ammonia. What is the method here? By downward displacement of air. We have learnt about HCl. HCl gas is collected by upward displacement of air, whereas ammonia gas is collected by downward displacement of air. So we have to compare. HCl, its vapor density is more than air, but ammonia vapor density is less than air. Hence ammonia, it will displaces the air downwards. As ammonia gas is collected at the top by displacing the air downwards, so that method is said to be, the method of collection of ammonia gas is said to be downward displacement of air. Why it is happened? Why it is so? Because the vapor density of ammonia gas is 8.5 only, and that of air is 14.4. So thus it is lighter than air. Okay, and hence it is collected by the downward displacement of air. See, now this gas is collected with ammonia. Okay, we have to fill this ammonia gas with this jar with ammonia gas. Okay, suppose if there is a jar in it, if there is a jar and it contains some gas, okay, some gas is filled in it. So in order to know whether this gas is ammonia gas or not, what we have to do? In order to confirm that this gas is ammonia gas or not, what we have to do? Simply take a glass rod. So now this is HCl solution. Okay, so it is dilute HCl solution, dilute hydrochloric acid. Now dip a glass rod in the dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is a glass rod, dip in the dilute hydrochloric acid and bring this glass rod towards the mouth of the this gas jar and open this jar. What happens? This ammonia gas will come. Okay, so now this is the glass rod which is dipped in the HCl. So this here some HCl is present on the glass rod. So this is what? This is ammonia gas, and this is what? This is HCl. So when ammonia gas come into contact with HCl, immediately both of them will react with each other by forming white dense fumes of ammonium chloride. So what happens? White dense fumes of ammonium chloride will start. Okay, white dense. Here formation of white dense fumes will confirm that this gas is ammonia gas, because already we know that this is dilute HCl. So with a dilute HCl, which gas will produce white dense fumes? White dense fumes. White dense fumes are formed, okay, with HCl. HCl will form white dense fumes with which gas? HCl will form white dense fumes only with ammonia gas. Remember. So that is a test for presence of ammonia gas. So in order to confirm whether a gas jar is filled with ammonia gas, simply hold a glass rod dipped in HCl, okay, near the mouth of the gas jar. Then formation of white dense fumes, okay, around the glass rod. It confirms that the gas jar is filled with ammonia gas. See, you may have some doubt. Why this ammonia gas is not collected over water? Suppose this is ammonia gas. So this is a delivery tube, let us assume. So now, suppose this is water, let us assume. This is water. This is water. Okay. Suppose here is ammonia gas. If it is sent into water, what happens? If ammonia gas is allowed to pass into water, what happens? Immediately that water will dissolve ammonia gas. Ammonia gas is very highly soluble in water, so that the amount of amount of ammonia collected will be very less. Though large amount of ammonia is formed in this process, but the amount of ammonia gas collected will be very less if we collect ammonia gas over water. What is the reason? Because this ammonia gas is highly soluble in water, so we cannot get the ammonia gas. Instead of getting ammonia gas, okay, a large amount of ammonia gas, we'll get only very little amount of gas. Okay, the amount of ammonia collected will be very less. Okay, it will be because the ammonia gas is extremely soluble in water. So that is why ammonia gas is not collected. It is not collected over water. Then how ammonia gas is collected? Ammonia gas is collected, okay, over the collected by in the air. Ammonia gas is collected in the air by downward displacement of air. So this is the collection method of ammonia gas. See, one thing we have to know. What is that? Why ammonia gas not dissolving water vapor before it is passed through the dryer? So here, so it is having what? Water vapor as well as ammonia gas, because here water vapor is also coming along with ammonia gas. Here water vapor is also coming. Why this ammonia gas is not dissolved in this water vapor? So this here the mixture of ammonia gas and water vapor, it is sent into the dryer, which is having what? Dryer is having quicklime, calcium oxide. Dryer is having calcium oxide. Before sending this mixture, this ammonia into dryer, so that ammonia should dissolve in water. But why it is not dissolving? Remember that. So here the water is under hot condition. Under hot condition, what happens? The solubility of ammonia is very less. Very little amount of ammonia may dissolve. Very little amount of ammonia may dissolve, but most of the ammonia will remain as undissolved, and it immediately, that is why this ammonia and that is why this mixture, it is immediately passed into the dryer, so that the moisture present in the ammonia will be removed here by calcium oxide, by undergoing this reaction. Calcium oxide will react. See, calcium oxide already rubbed it. So calcium oxide will react with the water, and it will remove the water. Okay, and finally dry ammonia is left over, and that dry ammonia is collected in the jar. And one more doubt: why cannot concentrated sulfuric acid be used as a drying agent for moist ammonia gas? So here we are using what? Quicklime for a drying agent. Quicklime as drying agent. What is drying agent? Drying agent will remove the moisture from the gas. So here which substance we have used as drying agent? We have used calcium oxide or else quicklime as a drying agent. So here the question is, why instead of quicklime, why concentrated sulfuric acid is not used? Here why concentrated sulfuric is not used instead of quicklime? One thing we have to remember, that concentrated sulfuric acid, it is an acid, but ammonia is a base. What happens? Both of them will react chemically to form a salt known as ammonium sulfate salt, along with the formation of water. So what happens? The ammonia which is formed here in this reaction, what is formed? Ammonia is formed. So our main aim is what? Preparation of ammonia. But if you use concentrated sulfuric acid, what happens? The soap prepared ammonia, again it is converted into some other substance. So will we get ammonia? No, that ammonia, the prepared ammonia, it is converted into some other substance. And can we collect ammonia here? No, that ammonia cannot be collected here, because already that ammonia, it is used up in this reaction. Okay, if you use concentrated sulfuric acid instead of quicklime, if you use concentrated sulfuric acid as a dryer or a drying agent, so what happens? That ammonia will react with that drying agent with concentrated sulfuric acid, and finally that ammonia is converted into some other substance, so that our purpose of preparation of ammonia cannot be solved. It cannot be solved. So in order to avoid this reaction, what we have to do? We should not use concentrated sulfuric acid. Instead of concentrated sulfuric acid, we have to use quicklime as a drying material. Okay, because this quicklime does not react with ammonia, it will react with the moisture. It will react, because here in this you will find what? Impure ammonia. Impure ammonia. What is that impurity? Only water vapor is the impurity. So now this quicklime will not react with ammonia. It will react with the impurity, water vapor. And that moisture, it is converted into some other substance, and that moisture is removed from ammonia. Now you will get dry ammonia. Here the ammonia is somewhat moist ammonia, but when passed through the dryer, so here you will get what? The dry ammonia is collected. So here drying agent is used as calcium oxide, not concentrated sulfuric acid, because ammonia will react chemically with concentrated sulfuric acid and it will convert into ammonium sulfate. Okay. So in order to avoid this reaction, so this concentrated sulfuric acid is not used as a drying agent. Okay. Next, one more question. Why cannot phosphorus pentoxide? So instead of sulfuric acid, instead of quicklime, sometimes phosphorus pentoxide, P2O5, in some reactions or else in some processes, phosphorus pentoxide can be used as a drying agent. So in some reactions, concentrated sulfuric acid can be used as drying agent. In some other reactions, phosphorus pentoxide is used as drying agent. But in case of ammonia, in case of collection of ammonia, so even phosphorus pentoxide also, it is not suitable as a drying agent. So here we cannot use concentrated sulfuric acid as drying agent, or we cannot use the phosphorus pentoxide as a drying agent, or we cannot use You cannot use calcium chloride also. Anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride. See, remember that concentrated sulfuric acid, phosphorus pentoxide, anhydrous calcium chloride, and quicklime. So these are generally used as drying agents. But these three drying agents cannot be used in the purpose of ammonia. Okay, because these three substances, they react with ammonia chemically. So if we use concentrated sulfuric acid, then ammonia is converted to some ammonium sulfate. If you use phosphorus pentoxide, what happens? It will convert into ammonium phosphate, because water vapor is also present. In the presence of water vapor, this phosphorus pentoxide will react with ammonia to form ammonium phosphate. Ammonium phosphate is formed. So that means this ammonia is converted into some other substance, ammonium phosphate. If you use phosphorus pentoxide as a drying agent, if you use calcium chloride as drying agent, what happens? This ammonia will react with the calcium chloride to form an additional product. Okay, to form an additional product known as adduct CaCl2 dot 8NH3. So this is the formula of additional product. It's an additional compound. So what happens? That means this ammonium chloride, this ammonia gas, it is converted into some other additional compound, so that ammonia won't remain. Here ammonia is not present. Suppose if this material, instead of calcium oxide, if you use anhydrous calcium chloride as a drying agent, what happens? The ammonia which is entering into this drying agent, so that ammonia will react with anhydrous calcium chloride and finally convert into some other additional product, so that this ammonia gas is not collected here. Okay, so our purpose of doing this experiment is preparation of ammonia. So here we are preparing ammonia. So that means here finally we should be able to collect ammonia gas, dry ammonia gas. So in order to collect dry ammonia gas, so we should use calcium oxide only as the drying agent. Calcium oxide means quicklime. Quicklime can only be used as a drying agent. Okay, we cannot use concentrated sulfuric acid or else phosphorus pentoxide or else anhydrous calcium chloride as a drying agent for the collection of ammonia or else for the purification of ammonia gas. Okay, right. Next step. So here some precautions we have to take. What are those precautions? So this at any cost there should not be any, this entire thing should be in a dry condition. Why? Because as ammonia is highly soluble, so at any cost there should not be any moisture. This entire setup should be under very dry conditions, because here all components of the apparatus should such as the flask or delivery tube, okay, or else a gas jar. So everything, it must be dry, because as ammonia is highly soluble in water, so we should take care that entire all the parts in this setup should be under perfectly dry conditions. And one more thing, the reaction mixture should be heated gently. One more case, what is it? One more precaution. So here this reaction mixture, we are heating the reaction mixture, and this should be heated gently heating. Why it should be gently heated? Why this reaction mixture should not be heated very strongly? Because already we learned that ammonium chloride, okay, here as ammonium chloride will undergo sublimation. So it will when ammonium chloride will undergo sublimation, what happens? Even ammonium chloride also will be collected here, so that the amount of ammonia, there will be reduction or else there will be less in the amount of ammonia collection. Okay, so that is why even this precaution also is necessary. That means we have to take care that reaction mixture should be heated gently only. Okay, so like this is one method of one laboratory method of collection of ammonia. Okay, by heating ammonium salts with the alkali. So this is one method. This is the first. Actually, there are two laboratory methods. So this is one laboratory method. Method A. So next method we will learn in the next video.